Hey everyone, what's up? Welcome to the Miami Dolphins NFL fan live stream here on Flying Fluffy Football, and we've got a bit of news to talk about, namely two things. Jalen Wright Jalen Wright underwent a small surgery and it will not be back until September. But the big news is that the Miami Dolphins have released their new rivalries uniforms. So so all the NFL teams released their rivalries uniforms, and I will go ahead and present the screen here so that we can take a look at these uniforms together. I already took a look at them, but I will just go to the post here. So now this is the is there a way to full screen this? Here we go. So this is a picture showing some of the details. They have 305 on the front of the helmet. They have, quote, a matte helmet and sunburst detail. And they have orange accents and what they are calling a pitch blue base. So this jersey, this is not black that the Dolphins are wearing. It is, quote, pitch blue. But I will go ahead and go to the main images. The here. Colin says the new Finns uniforms are all right. I like the helmet more. Well, let's talk about these. Let's talk about these for a minute, shall we? So what we have is the Miami Dolphins rivalries uniform, and they've chosen a very distinctive, very different look from anything the Dolphins have really done before in the past. Namely, they went with pitch blue as the primary color with the aqua and orange accents that you can see. Right off the bat, one thing I dislike about these jerseys is the borders on these numbers. What are we doing here? Why is it 3 out of 4 sides? Why is it 2 or 3 out of 4 sides being bordered like the border only goes along the top edge. The 5 has border here, border there, and then no border along most of one side of the 5. It's very weird. And it's possible that the numbers might have popped a little more if they had an orange border instead of an aqua border. I like the orange lettering for the name on the back. I think it really pops against that pitch blue. The sunburst on the helmet is one of my favorite details. These helmets rock. I love what they did here. It essentially is the pitch blue and then a slight recoloring of the Dolphins logo to have the body of the dolphin be mostly pitch blue with the aqua accents, and then you have the aqua sun surrounded by the orange rays. And how the aqua I like how the aqua and orange appear on this jersey. This is a pretty decent design. I think there are a couple of things that could have been done to make this better. A lot of people were hoping they would go for Miami Vice colors, but to be honest, the Dolphins seem to have copied the Miami Marlins homework on having that very dark blue, almost black, be a primary color, and having the secondary colors be minor accents. The theme of this rivalry jersey was surfacing from the deep. And I like to imagine it's a reflection of the dreadful darkness the Dolphins fans and team alike have suffered through decades of failure and ineptitude. But the Dolphins did not want to look back to the past as much as people were clamoring for, say, another throwback with the classic logo and the classic colors. This rivalry jersey gives the Dolphins a chance to do something new. As far as grading this, that helmet is, I would give it maybe A minus. The jersey, C plus. The Miami Marlins called, they want the almost dark primary color back. So nothing spectacular here. I think there's probably plenty of other NHL rivalry uniforms that are better. I haven't taken a look at any of the other rivalry uniforms, but I will very soon. But that is my belief about the Miami rivalry uniform, is that it is solid, but nothing extraordinary, just like the team that wears it. The helmet is clean, though. I do like the helmet. I love the sunburst detail on the back. I love the aqua and orange. That bordering on the aqua numbers is so weird. Honestly, I would have given this a B, the jersey, if they had done something better with the bordering on the numbers. But yeah, there you have it. Solid jersey. Hopefully the Dolphins don't end up regretting having a dark jersey for any home games in Hard Rock Stadium. And heaven help us if this is the jersey that we're wearing week 14 against the Jets, who apparently also have a black rivalry jersey. God help us. Okay. Franklin Stubbs says, good afternoon, fins up. Derek says, I like the Cardinals rivalry jersey. Derek says, they missed out on Vice, but I like the navy over a black uniform. Colin says, the Bills have the best uniforms in my opinion. Dolphins signed another running back today. A Patriots player. Do I think Dolphins are going to wear these uniforms during primetime games only. Well, this jersey is part of the new NFL Rivalries jersey series, and apparently those are going to be worn specifically for games with big rivalries, like I believe the Jets and Dolphins game is a rivalries game. Mythical Riz says it looks like Miami's theme is to have a dark waters concept for the jersey. That's literally what they said in their post. They said, from the depths. That orange is really going to that makes the jersey for me. That color. The aqua numbers, I think, leave something to be desired, but I really the orange. I think there is a little bit of aqua bordering on the orange lettering here. Not on the name, but on the Miami. So I'm going to find an article about all the other NFL rivalry uniforms. Let's see. Let me go somewhere where I can find the pictures, high quality pictures of all the let's see. Let me go over to ESPN. So there we go. Arizona Cardinals built to last. What is this? With the Cardinals situated in a desert, it's only fitting that their look is emblematic of the climate. The all-white uniform has a texture meant to represent sand and dust storms that occur in the state. The number set and pant stripes include a metallic copper element reflecting Arizona state metal. Copper is also the outline color for a reimagined state flag that appears on the sleeve patch and back neck, and it goes with white pants. Let me see if I can find better pictures from each of the teams. Why would you make this? It just looks like a beat up raggedy white jersey that's gotten all spotted and stained. It looks like you took the white jersey and just let it get covered in dust and dirt. Cap for Life says, please tell me you guys saw the Joe Rose show this morning. He said it best after the Greer presser. There is no we in GM. Well, I can't say I watched it, but I wonder what exactly happened. Yeah, the Cardinals jersey looks like a tortilla. It looks like a white jersey that got dust and stained up. I'm gonna have to give this one an F. So let's see what the Buffalo Bills rivalry looks like. Wow. They went with the theme of ice and snow. That actually looks damn cool. See, Arizona, this is how you pull off a white jersey look. You don't make it look like it got dragged and dusted. Yeah. Oh, I love that logo on the helmets. That is cool. You know, it forgoes the usual red and blue that you find on the Bills jerseys, but that is sweet. I hope we get to play a rivalry game against the Bills where the Dolphins are wearing their rivalry jersey and the Bills are wearing these. That is sweet. So the theme for this one is cold front. According to ESPN, snowy and icy conditions at home are very much a part of the Bills' DNA, and their uniforms tap into those elements. The icy all-white look has one of the neater design elements, a crystallized buffalo logo on the sleeve. Various textures and silver trims were used throughout the jersey for a frosty look. Bills Mafia receives a shout out with the two words stitched inside the back neck. Yeah, I'll have to. Oh wow, that's the crystallized buffalo. That is pretty cool. That is getting an A from me. The Bills wanted to represent how icy cold and inhospitable Buffalo can be. It looks pretty sweet. The Los Rams. What? Hang on a second. Night mode. I don't understand what they were going for here. What is that? Is that another very dark blue? Dark blue. And they have this really odd shoulder striping. It looks like two flags draped over the shoulder pads. I don't see what they were doing here. This is just a weaker version of the Dolphins jersey. It doesn't even have, it has a white textured number instead of any color. That is getting a C minus at best. The Dolphins jersey was C plus. This is C minus. And they went with that horn that he likes for the helmet. Yeah, Tyreek Hill showed up in practice today. Week 3. Is that a rivalry game, Colin? I know that's the Thursday night game against the Bills. Tyreek Hill showed up in practice today. Yeah. That's encouraging. So they went with midnight mode. So this is Midnight Navy, and it's just a weaker version of the Dolphins jersey. They will wear similarly covered navy pants with the jerseys. So I like the description. Here's the description of the Miami. I'll read the description of the the Rams midnight mode jerseys. So the Miami Dolphins Dark Waters jersey on-field debut is September 29th versus the Jets. So it is not going to appear before then. So it is against the Jets. Rams have worn navy before, mostly when they reside in St. Louis. Yada yada, pops of yellow, perforated blue lights. The Dolphins boast 2 of the league's fastest position players in wide receiver Tyreek Hill and running back Devon Achane. Their uniform design is a nod to their speed, with turbo green and orange stripes on the helmet, pant stripes and sleeves, mirroring the power and speed of Dolphins in the water. The dark pitch blue threads include notes of orange accents and iridescent aqua. As with the Rams, the Dolphins fan rally cry, "Go Fins," is inside the back neck in orange. Choosing the Jets matchup as their on-field debut is one rooted in history. The Jets have always been our biggest rival. They're the team that no matter what the record is, they're always going to play us tough. Former Dolphins wide receiver Nat Moore said, and with so many New Yorkers living in South Florida, the rivalry just feels that much more real. So let me go to the New England Patriots. Their theme is Nor'easter. What is with that NE logo? Storm Blue. I just don't understand. Why does it look so faded out? The NE logo, I think I could get behind, but the Patriots, these uniforms look like discount Titans jerseys. There's nothing here that screams Patriots. I know the Patriots color scheme, the classic color scheme, the Brady color scheme. Again, wanting to do something different, but this just falls sort of flat. I'll give this C. I'll give this a C. It's not quite as terrible as the It's not quite as terrible as, it's not quite as bad as the Rams jersey, I think. This is, C or C plus. Around the same tier as the Dolphins, but I think the Dolphins get the edge, where the Dolphins are on the border between B minus and C plus. This is a solid C. So, the New York Jets. So these are the following jerseys I'm about to show you are the ones that, oh my dear Lord. This is what they went with. Like the darkest of dark green. So these are the jerseys that the Jets will be wearing. These are the jerseys the Jets will be wearing. Where is the color? Why are so many teams insisting on making the dark jerseys? The Dolphins pulled it off the best of this dark jersey bunch because they actually have aqua and orange. With this, they Gotham City football. What do they think? What do they think? They're Batman or something? That is getting C minus from me. It barely has any green in it. It looks silly. They're trying to make it like Gotham City color. Whatever that means. Oh, I see. This is interesting. The Dolphins Dark Waters jersey debut September 29th. But the Gotham City Football Club jersey for the Jets, it debuts on December 7th. So I think they are going to avoid having both teams wearing these dark jerseys at the same time. Thank goodness. So I hope you guys are enjoying. This is what I figured would be a fun way to spend at least the first half of this stream or so, just looking at all the rivalries jerseys and laughing at the majority of them. I'm disappointed, Jets. Let me see the San Francisco 49ers.
But it's always been.
So this is the video.
The ones who bled red, white, and gold that turned to silver again and again and again and again and again. And when we have something to settle, well, we do that for the faithful too.
So again, it's another dark jersey. Oh, they went with the old-timey font for the numbers. Okay, I can get behind the numbers. Why? Here we go. Are they going to give us an actual look at these jerseys that's not shadow? Here. This is the 49ers jersey. They went, once again, dark. They once again went dark with some rather Cleveland Browns-esque striping. The numbers save this. The numbers save this from being a total dreck. I'd say this is around the same level as the Dolphins jersey, maybe a bit lower. Another C. I might have a better opinion of them if they actually would show what they look like in normal conditions and not against heavy shadow and red background. They look kind of like the Buccaneers now. Let's see. Seattle Seahawks, high decibel zone. What in the hell am I looking at? It looks like one of those mesh t-shirts that got stretched until all the little holes in the mesh are now stretched out into lines. Yeah, I have to agree with you, Austin. That is a terrible jersey. What is it with these teams? What is it with these teams making it intentionally look like their jerseys were ruined? And this wouldn't even be a good jersey even if without that mesh look. It's just all white. And are those dark green leggings? And is that a dark green helmet? What is the... Yeah, that is F. That is only slightly better than the Cardinals jersey. The helmets I could probably get behind, but that jersey is horrendous. Mr. Krabs asks, the Dolphins aren't going to wear black jerseys in the sun, are they? Well, they are not black jerseys. They're pitch blue. Just why? All right. Is that it? Is that all of them? Are there only Oh, I see. Is that all of them? I thought for some reason that this rivalry thing was for all of them. But apparently there's only 8 of them. After this season, the threads will be in the team's uniform rotation for 3 years. So it's just for teams from the AFC East. AFC East and NFC West during this, they will don special uniforms during a single home game against a division rival. So now I have to rank these, don't I? So dead last, I would say, is the Cardinals. What were they thinking? Then second worst would, let me share this. Yeah, Cooper Kupp is on the Seahawks now. So dead last is the Cardinals. That is gross. I'd say the Seahawks jersey is second worst. The Seahawks jersey is second worst. Give me a second. I know there's a couple missing. I'd probably rank them from worst to best. Cardinals, Seahawks. Which one? The Jets jersey is very bleh. I'd put Jets third to worst. The Patriots jersey. No, excuse me. I would probably pick after Patriots, then the 49ers, then the 49ers jersey, then the Patriots jersey. No, then the Rams jersey. I wish there were just the pictures of all the jerseys together so I could better see them. Here we go. Oh, hang on a second. Okay. These are the jerseys. Cardinals, black, dead last. Seahawks, not quite as bad. The Jets jersey is not quite as bad. Rams jersey is sort of bleh. The Patriots, those jerseys might look better on the field. The 49ers, that number saves it. I'd say no doubt the Bills have far and away the best jersey. Although Miami, compared to all these other jerseys, the Miami jersey is actually looking pretty sweet. Take your pick. Which one of these is... I'd like to hear which one of these do you like more. I'd say either the Bills or the Dolphins. Crazy Dolphin says, good afternoon, Kyle, aka Flying Fluffy Football, and our fans. Everyone hit the like button, subscribe, and support Kyle. Let's go. Thank you, Crazy Dolphin. Patel Ron says, why does the Dolphins jersey remind me of the Heat Miami Vice jerseys? Well, I think it's because the Dolphins might have copied homework from teams like the Heat and the Marlins. Oh, this just this just broke an hour ago on ESPN. Apparently, the Cowboys appear to open to Micah Parsons trade offers. Several teams have spoken to the Dallas Cowboys about a potential Micah Parsons trade, and for the first time, the Cowboys appear willing to at least listen, according to multiple sources. No trade is imminent, but another team always could be aggressive enough to make it come together quickly. So there are still several different ways this lingering situation and this hunt over the Cowboys could turn out. Parsons could continue to play. Parsons could decide to play on his current contract, which is 1 year left on it, with the Cowboys having the ability to use their franchise tag on him after the season. Parsons and the Cowboys could resurrect talks and reach agreement on a long-term deal, an outcome still some on the outside still believe is possible due to the team's history of eventually paying its high-priced stars, but some within the organization remain skeptical about. Parsons could continue to sit out, citing a back injury and the back tightness that has prevented him from practicing throughout training camp. Or Parsons could be traded, which sources believe seems to have become a stronger possibility in recent days than it has been at any point during this process. There are said to be multiple suitors, though it's unclear whether Dallas ultimately would be willing to deal Parsons. Oh, you are kidding me. I lost connection to the camera. There we go. What is wrong with the... This is the second time that the web camera that my dad specifically got to have a better picture has disconnected in the middle of a stream. Let me try this again. There we go. Mr. Krabs says the Dolphins jersey reminds me of the Marlins jerseys. Yeah, the Dolphins very much appear to have copied Marlins and Heat homework. It's not necessarily a bad thing. I mean, the Dolphins could have chosen Miami Vice, but the aqua and orange does look pretty fresh. It's merely the finer details of the Dolphins jersey that prevents me from saying it's a home run. Give me a second. I'd like to ask the same question that the 33rd team here is asking. Which AFC East rivalries jersey is your favorite? So you have the Nor'easter from the Patriots, the From the Depths jersey, or the Deep Water jersey by the Dolphins. You have the Gotham City team, jersey from the Jets. I can't take that seriously. And then, hot damn, the Bills. There's just something about the Bills jersey that looks really good. And I'm saying this as a Dolphins fan. Although the Dolphins jersey does grow on me the more I look at it. It's certainly the most colorful of these jerseys. This poll says right now people have the Dolphins being the best one. Oh, I like this one. All this tells me is that we're going to get spanked by Buffalo. They're going to wear that snow jersey for the game against the Dolphins in the winter. They're going to blend with the snow. Well, the only problem with that is that the Rhodes game against the Bills is on Thursday night in week 3. So, Iceman says, I just found this channel, just subbed, I'm going with the Dolphins and 49ers. Hey, welcome to the Flying Fluffy Football. Thank you for joining. Thank you for subscribing. That's awesome. So when you say you're going with the Dolphins and 49ers, are you talking as in rooting interest or in the rivalry jerseys? Imagine if the aqua and teal logo numbers glowed in the dark coming out the tunnel. That would be sweet. Well, apparently the aqua on the jersey is iridescent. Daniel says, hey everyone, happy Thursday. Finspin says, greetings all, Kyle. Hello, Finspin. Cap for Life says the Buffalo uniform looks like overgrown snowmen. Iceman says the uniforms and Dolphins for me all day, bro. Hey, that's sweet. Yeah, the 49ers rivalry jersey, it's the numbers, the number more than anything saves it. And Cap for Life, overgrown snowmen. When are those debuting? What game are the Bills rivalry uniforms jersey? Mm-hmm. Apparently, they're going to be worn week 5 against the Patriots. So again, for those of you who want to keep track, the Dolphins rivalry uniform is going to be worn at the week 4 home game against the Jets. The Jets rivalry uniform is going to be worn at the Dolphins road game against the Jets on December 7th. So the NFL, they're not having both teams wearing the rivalry uniforms against each other. So it means the good news is that the Dolphins will not be wearing those rivalry uniforms in the South Florida sun. That is the Monday night game. So it starts at 7:15 p.m. So that's the Monday night game. That's when the jersey is being worn. Iceman says we have college this weekend and then Dolphins finally, bro. So for those of you who watch actual news, Tyreek Hill did practice in limited capacity Thursday and is on track to play in the regular season opener against the Colts. Jalen Wright will not be playing for the immediate future. He had a small procedure done on the lower leg injury that isn't season-ending, but could keep him out for the first months of the season, which means Ollie Gordon was the Dolphins' lone healthy running back on the initial 53-man roster, with Achane nursing a calf injury. Achane is expected to play in week 1, but Miami signed running backs Jeff Wilson Jr. and JaMychal Hasty as insurance. Thursday's practice also featured the return of safety Ashton Davis, who had missed the past 3 weeks with a lower leg injury. Iceman says, have a great stream. Jameson says, hey, Kyle, how about those NFL rivalry jerseys? Bad, not good. Okay, hear me out. The Dolphins rivalry jersey is actually pretty sweet compared to the others. And the Bills jersey, I like it. Yeah, the Cardinals and the Seahawks jersey. Ugh. The Cardinals jersey looks like a white jersey that got rubbed in dirt. Iceman says, let's go Dolphins all day. Peace, bro. Cap for life. Dolphins coach Mike McDaniel said Jalen Wright had surgery and could be back September-ish. At least 35 Miami Dolphins seen working practice on the field today. Wow. Jameson says, I agree. Bills and Dolphins don't make me want to puke. Yeah. Yeah, the Bills and Dolphins ones are good. The rest are either entirely mediocre, like the 49ers and Rams jerseys are mediocre. I have no idea what the Jets were thinking. The Patriots uniforms look like Titans uniforms that got left out in the sun too long. And the Cardinals and Seahawks jerseys are abominations. Joe Shad quoting Jordan Poyer talking about his tough year with the Dolphins last year. Quote, I keep the receipts. Omar Kelly on Twitter said, in my opinion, the Dolphins did the top 5 things to do before the season started. They added a kicker. Hopefully, they made the right choice. They signed a backup left tackle insurance for the season. They signed a running back who knows the offense in Jeff Wilson. They signed 2 corners with size in Rasul Douglas and Juju Brents. They re-signed Derek McClendon, my favorite training camp youngster, Theo East Jr., solid young talent, and Cornell Armstrong needed as a gunner. And of course, they also had Greg Dulcich sign. Ooh. I like this. Concept I just found for someone presented an alternate idea for a dark Dolphins helmet. So this is, maybe we can get something like this in the future. It's a dark green with the aqua, or excuse me, the orange. A lot of people love the old Dolphins look. Finn Spin says, we keep receipts too, Double Agent Boyer. So what do we think? Have the Dolphins done enough to potentially field a good team? For those of you wanting a better look at the Dolphins' new helmet, Jameson says that's clean. Would like to see that helmet in a game. Yeah, me too. Yeah, me too. Although I must say, the Dolphins helmet they did go with is pretty sweet too. And this picture right here shows clearly that the Dolphins are not wearing black. They are wearing what they're calling pitch blue. A color I'm sure is meant to represent like the depths of the ocean. Crazy Dolphin says, Kendall Lamb. Yep, Kendall Lamb is back on the team. We probably needed that reinforcement on the offensive line. There's a lot to say. There's a lot to say upcoming season, whether it be how can the Dolphins find the strength to actually become the playoff contender that we were promised after that tank for Tua. The Dolphins announced the roster moves. We have signed tight end Greg Dulcich and running backs JaMychal Hasty and Jeff Wilson Jr. to the practice squad. So of all the Dolphins trades, signings, moves, whatnot throughout the offseason, as we now approach the final few days without football, what move impressed you the most? Was it getting Mika back in exchange for trading Jalen Ramsey and Jonnu Smith to the Steelers? Was it perhaps the drafting? Do you think Kenneth Grant, Jonas Savaiina, and Jason Marshall Jr. could be pieces we need? Ollie Gordon has seemed to become a new favorite to break out as rookie running back who shot up the depth chart thanks to injuries Madison and Jalen Wright. Crazy Dolphin says, but dark colors hold heat. I like those colors. Well, the good news is that the Dolphins plan to debut those uniforms specifically for the September 29th game, the home game against the Jets. That's Monday night. That's the Monday night game in Miami. Finspin says Jordan Phillipson Biggers. Finspin says, scratch that, I gotta go with Patrick Paul. You mean how he's progressed in training camp and such? This is his second year. All right, so Patrick Paul says he's a different. Finspin says Patrick Paul is a different beast this year. Oh, that's sweet. Well, we need that help. We need that help on the offensive line. That is the one thing that has consistently been the Dolphins' undoing in recent years, is the inability to block, not just to protect Tua, but also being unable to have any ground game. There is a reason why the Dolphins were throwing a gajillion screens and short passes to Achane last year, and it's because they could not run for shit. Mr. Krabs says Teron Armstead should be an O-line coach. He seems like a good mentor. Yeah, maybe he will join the Dolphins organization at some point. Barry Jackson says Finn's defensive back talk from locker. Ashton Davis is relieved the injury is not more serious and he's practicing. Traders said he did not re-aggravate the injury and the team was being cautious. Rasul Douglas cited family issue in terms of not signing earlier and said Miami is a good team always. So JaMychal Hasty, one of the running backs that just got signed to the practice squad. JaMychal Hasty has averaged 4.0 yards on 121 career carries. He has experience with McDaniel with the 49ers. Quote, have ton of familiarity with him as well as Wilson. McDaniel said both running backs on the practice squad. Joe Shaw said that new Miami Dolphins corner Rasul Douglas, he's adapting to a new scheme. So the Dolphins, two safeties who missed much of training camp due to injuries, returned this week. Dante Trader is back. Ashton Davis is back. Dolphins cornerback Storm Duck had an interesting revelation about Minkah Fitzpatrick this week. Quote, that's someone I looked up to when I was smaller. Seen him play at Alabama. I haven't told him this yet, but he's the reason I wore number 29 when I was at North Carolina. Having a guy like that is amazing. He's seen everything, can give us tips. He knows the game, and he's been around the game a long time. One big question, as usual, is the offensive line depth. The four reserves on the 53-man roster at the moment are tackles Kendall Lamb and Larry Borum, guard/tackle Keon Smith, and guard/center Daniel Brunskill. Center Andrew Meyer and Liam Eichenberg, guard Liam Eichenberg, are both eligible to return after week 4. With right tackle Austin Jackson injured the past month but expected to be ready for the opener. Quote from Greer, it was good for Larry Borum to get more work. He was coming in learning a whole new technique, and coaches are very happy with him. Getting Keon Smith back was really good because he can play tackle and guard. Daniel Brunskill has been a veteran that has played in this system for a long time, so he gives us some comfort there as a backup. Greer quoted on new backup quarterback Zach Wilson, quote, each game he's gotten better and better. The first part of camp, when we were just going through a lot of stuff 7-on-7, he was really good, and then the team stuff happened. And there were times he was holding the ball, focusing on stuff too long. The one thing I think we like is he's smart. Players have all liked him in the locker room, his leadership. He's a really good guy with a sneaky personality that he probably doesn't show people, but the players like him. It's a really good room with all three of them in there with Tua and Quinn Ewers. They get along very well. Confident that if Zach Wilson went into a game, he could help us move the offense and help us win a game. So, Kendall Lamb signed after being released by Philadelphia, says he's happy to be back. He had back surgery after last season, but said he always wanted to continue playing. There you have it. Apparently, the Dolphins are happy with Zach Wilson has been doing. Let's see. Crazy Dolphin says Larry Borum looked bad. Well, hopefully the Dolphins' offensive line stays completely healthy and we don't have any need for backups because it's looking like once again the Dolphins enter the season with not much to speak of in offensive line depth. Having Kendall Lamb back is nice and all, but there's really not much else besides him. Cowboys owner Jerry Jones believes he personally negotiated a deal with Micah Parsons, a 5-year contract worth roughly $202.5 million with $40.5 million per year. The Cowboys have not made any formal offer since, per Adam Schefter. So Jerry Jones now believes he personally negotiated with Micah Parsons, and that he could get away with paying his star defensive player a mere $40.5 million per season. Crazy Dolphin says, I hope Borum gets the system. Well, that'll be up to McDaniel and company. Mr. Krabs says, if Tua goes down, just forfeit the season. Well, yeah. More or less. Hopefully Tua can stay healthy the entire season. So apparently, the Packers have signed former quarterback Clayton Tune, tackle Dalton Cooper, and tight end Josh Weil to their practice squad. So what do you think? What do the Dolphins have in terms of what have the Dolphins built here? Have they truly become the faster, the faster, stronger, closer team? Have they done enough? Has Greer not horrendously botched basic things like offensive line for yet another season? Has McDaniel have what it takes to coach these guys and to get them to the promised land of a player? So yeah, there really isn't much left to talk about. I was under the impression that the rivalries uniforms were for all 32 teams, but I guess they're rolling it out. They're rolling out these jerseys for 2 divisions every year for the next few years until they have all of them. Finn Spin says it's a freshly stacked Jenga tower. Once pieces start getting pulled out during the season, we'll see how it stands. Well, a couple of those pieces already got taken out. No Artie Burns, no Kader Kohu, no Alexander Madison. And the team is going to have to rely on Riley Patterson for kicking for at least the first few weeks. Jason Sanders was one of the most consistent players on the team, and of course he got injured. So hopefully Riley Patterson was the correct selection from the veteran kickers available in free agency. with the Dolphins Dolphins have announced the signings of Dolchich and Jeff Wilson Jr. and JaMychal Hasty to the practice squad. They now have 15 practice squad spots filled. The last one is likely for Jordan Colbert, provided he clears waivers. So, on the NFL, give me a second. So the Raiders claimed safety Tris Hullum on waivers from the Eagles per his agents Drew Rosenhaus and Robert Bailey. So apparently Patrick, hang on a second. Where was I looking for? Here we go. Sign of how the national media is viewing the Miami. So this was referred to the NFL MVP vote predictions. 29 voters, 8 awards predictions, 232 total votes, none going to a member of the Dolphins. Wow. So yeah, all right. I think I will go ahead and wrap things up now. It was fun, all the rivalry jerseys. I mean, the Dolphins and Bills, it's basically in terms of ranking these, it's Bills, Dolphins, and then all the other ones. Like, what was Nike thinking? At least the Dolphins jersey is pretty decent, and the Bills jersey probably will look really cool. Yeah, so I'm gonna go ahead and sign off. There will not be a football stream tomorrow, and I am not sure if there are going to be any additional streams until because I'm fairly certain that my dad and I are going to be streaming the season opener on Thursday nights between the Cowboys and Eagles. And we might also stream that Friday night's game between the Chiefs and Chargers. And then, of course, on Sunday, we will be streaming the Dolphins and Colts game. And if we are up for it, the Sunday and Monday night games might also be streamed. We'll just see how things go. So, yeah, thank you for joining me, and I will see you next time. Go Dolphins.